All right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. UFC 255 has just come to an end, and we are kicking off our live post-fight coverage here on MMAfighting.com. I am Mike Heck, being joined by executive producer extraordinaire E. Casey Leiden, Jose Youngs. There he is. I don't know if we're going to be able to hear him, but he's there. And this is the post-fight press conference portion of our coverage, as Deiveson Figueiredo just submitted Alex Perez in the first round with just a crazy guillotine choke. Tapped him out. Perez started to panic, and that was it. Almost was able to get out of it. Figueiredo adjusts, gets the tap at 1 minute 57 seconds of the very first round, putting an end to a very interesting card. Casey, it was the prelims were really good. Main card, very competitive. We got a really good fight between Mike Perry and Tim Means. Tim Means got the win, so I wonder if Tim Means is going to get the Tristan Connolly treatment.
I hope so.
But I mean, some of the prelim, the first fight of the night, Sasha and Louis Cosi, was ridiculous. That fight was ridiculous. So it'll be interesting to see how they award these bonuses.
Let me bring up the card. I feel like we watched so many fights, and then as soon as it's over, I'm like, what did I just watch?
It feels like the first fight was like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just the main card. And that's the thing. Like when you have matchups like this that are super competitive, it's tough to get finishes and to have the pacing go well. But there were some fun fights.
Absolutely.
Sasha Palatnikov, Louis Cosi was really good. Alan Jouban and Jared Gooden was really good.
Oh, what am I hearing now? Is that? I think that's the camera mic I'm hearing, Jose. It says the guest has muted themselves on my end. You being the guest.
I hear John Anik's voice. Watch new episodes of Experience clips and more for free. Only on Spotify. In partnership with VAB, Disabled American Veterans.
Yeah, okay.
We try to figure this whole thing out. Yeah. Waiting on bonuses, waiting on arrivals.
I'm really enjoying
the dais, so to speak.
I'm enjoying this frantic Jose right now, just waving at us. So
I'd love to know what he's saying right now.
Can you hold up signs, Jose?
I'm sure he's very, very calm, very relaxed.
Just
very
blink,
positive.
Blink twice if you are in distress. Yeah, it has
We'll figure all that out.
All right.
So a lot to come out of it. Both champions retained. Figueiredo with the big finish, making the thing I keep seeing on Twitter is he's making the flyweight division great again. But I feel like Demetrius Johnson's title reign is kind of getting overlooked throughout this whole thing. I felt like on the broadcast and even like all night, it wasn't even like he was like an afterthought. Wasn't even mentioned. You know what I mean?
When was the last time?
It was just kind of weird.
I'm trying to think. When was the last time they've actually mentioned his name on a broadcast? I can't remember. I don't. Like I feel like he's just like he's just gone from UFC history.
It's like they traded the title reign to one.
Yeah.
along with Demetrius Johnson. So I expect we're gonna hear from Dana White. We'll obviously hear from Valentina Shevchenko, who retained her title with the unanimous decision victory. And there's 3 black boxes.
I know. One moment.
We're just going on the fly.
Yeah, just doing little adjustments real quick.
Yeah.
Boop. Yeah, we're gonna make.
You never know what's gonna happen. It's like the WWF in the '90s. Expect the unexpected.
Boop, boop, boop.
As we await the arrival of, we're gonna hear from Dana White. Obviously, we'll hear from the 2 defending champions. And then after this, we will go live for the UFC 255 post-fight show. AK Lee will join us, and we'll talk with all of you about all the fun stuff that happened tonight.
Is this true?
No champion has lost this year.
I'm assuming UFC champions.
I think I'm trying to think. I don't think we've had a new. We haven't had a.
Stipe won. We just go top to bottom. Stipe won. Well, we've had a new champion at 205, but John never lost. Stipe won.
Justin Gaethje won the interim title.
Izzy retained. Usman retained. Habib retained. Volkanovski retained.
Won the title. Yeah, we haven't had a new. Wow, we have not had a new champion.
Wait.
You still got one more chance.
What's I don't know what's left. What am I missing?
Jan versus Sterling on December 12th.
Oh yeah, yes. I forgot. Then we lost Amanda versus Anderson.
I'm trying to go back to like even January. Yeah, because Connor headlined January. Jones won in February. Shevchenko won in February, and then March was Izzy and Zhang Weili. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no new champions. Didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Interesting.
We need like a status. Jose would probably know the answer of like the last time.
Jose, tell us something important, Jose. I know you got something important to say. Oh, this is torture for Jose. This is torture.
He's waxing. He's telling us too. We just can't relay the info.
Oh. No, that's his camera mic.
I feel like I can kind of hear him.
I unmuted the camera. Jose, can you talk? No.
I'm starting to hear his voice like very slightly. But Anik is just Anik is drowning him out.
I don't know what's going on.
Jose has described the media room at the UFC Apex as the coldest media room ever. And he's nodding his head in agreement. It's still cold in there.
All right.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, I guess for now, like as we await the arrival of Dana White, because I'm sure he's going to go to ESPN first. I don't know if there's any immediate feedback, any immediate questions or comments regarding this event. I mean, we'll touch on everything on the post-fight show. I think we'll do the post-fight show as like all questions because by the time we get to it, it's going to be like 3:00 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. So we'll make it the people's post-fight show. We'll see if we have some immediate things to talk about. See how the folks reacted to this event at the Apex. One more pay-per-view to go. That is on December 12th, but the UFC is just going to keep firing off events. What do we got? We got 4 left?
4 what? 4 events?
4 events left in the year? Because December 19th is the last one.
Next week is Blades versus Lewis.
So the 28th, and we got December 5th.
What is it?
And then we got the 12th and the 19th. I don't even remember.
I just know the end of the year, the final fight night card with Edward Shemaev. That is loaded card. Loaded.
That is a redonk card.
I'm not even talking about the main event.
Hermanson versus Holland is December 5th, by the way.
That's the main event.
Should remember that.
Oh, Kevin Holland got
That's the main event.
All right.
Yeah, December 19th. That whole card is ridiculous.
Yeah, I was shocked.
That whole card is so ridiculous that Chaos Williams versus Michel Pereira is on the prelims, and Manel Cape's UFC debut is on the prelims as well.
Did DC say that he's training at AKA now?
He did.
Wow, I didn't. This breaking news, and I think DC just finally got it. He's like, man, this guy is amazing. Which us insiders we already knew, but no, DC is catching up. All right, let me see. I guess December 9th.
Yeah, December 19th. That card is just ridiculous. 6-fight main card. What I liked more than anything is that the prelims start at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on December 19th, and the main card starts at 7 p.m. That is awesome. That is tremendous.
Everyone's just super excited about December 19th, apparently.
It's a great card.
Oh, my God.
What a Christmas present.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to... think positive, Casey. All those fights are going to happen. Fights never drop out. Not in this time. No way.
So one fight that was supposed to take place on that card, and I just thought about it because when they flashed everything up there, I didn't see it. Tyson Nam versus Matt Schnell was targeted for that card, and I didn't see it on either graphic. So there you go. I don't know what's going on with that one, but that's a darn good fight too. So December 19th, Rick Glenn versus Carlton Minus. Tafon Nchukwi makes his UFC debut against Jamie Pickett, also makes his UFC debut. A couple Contender Series guys. Draco Rodriguez, another Contender Series contract winner, is going to fight Ayman Zahabi. Pani Kianzad versus Sajara Eubanks. Deron Wynn versus Antonio Ahoyo. I don't think that was his originally scheduled opponent. Bilal Muhammad versus Diego Lima. Pantoja versus Cape. Pajeda versus Williams. And then we get Jose Aldo versus Marlon Vera kicking off the main card.
Wow.
Misha Serkinov versus Ryan Spann. Marlon Moraes versus Rob Font, which is a ridiculous fight. Rob Font, his first fight in 2020 after recovering from a torn ACL. I interviewed Rob Font on Friday, so you'll get a little Thanksgiving treat and hear from one of the members of the New England Cartel on Thursday when What the Heck drops. Barchin Tybura is fighting Greg Hardy in the featured bout. Co-main event is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Jeff Neal, and then Leon Edwards versus Hamzat Chimaev. Good God. Joseph O's next week is Blades versus Lewis.
Yeah. Oh, so Greg Hardy's fighting Tybura. Okay.
Yep.
That's all right. Then that's an actual they are giving Greg Hardy tougher competition now. Tybura is definitely is he? He's not ranked. He's probably right outside the top 15 or maybe right there.
Yeah, he's top 20.
Okay, yeah,
probably in that neck of the woods. So yeah, that's
definitely
a good fight.
Yeah, definitely. This is gonna be a step up. Well, not short notice. Obviously, Volkov was a giant step up, but I kind of forgot that fight even happened. To be honest, the Volkov Hardy fight.
It's a really good card. What a way to end the year.
And how much does that card cost?
$4.99. Your monthly dues for ESPN Plus.
I mean, I was looking at that, I was like, wow. I was like, man, like, yeah, one couple times a year, the UFC, for some reason, the way the chips fall, like, they get those crazy good fight nights. So, that's gonna be fun. That just feels like a pay-per-view just without a championship fight, essentially.
Yeah, I would agree with you. A lot of guys making they're having their first fights of 2020 on this card. Edwards, Thompson, Font. There's others too, but we'll go into that later. Paul Craig is my new favorite light heavyweight fighter from Waximus One. He looked good tonight. He looked good. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but if while we wait the arrival, don't turn this off. Pull open another tab if you'd like and listen to Paul Craig's post-fight scrum. The guy is just so full of energy, and it's a fun game to play with yourself to try to guess what he's actually saying because that Scottish accent is just wild. But he looked good. Big win over Shogun Hua. He gets to move on from that rivalry after their draw last year. So he moves ahead, and I'm excited to matchmake for him on to the next one. He had some interesting call-outs, which I don't know if any of them will happen. He called out Glover Teixeira. That ain't going to happen anytime soon. He called out Johnny Walker.
Possibly.
I don't know if Johnny Walker's fighting anybody right now. Possibly. And then he called out Misha Serkinov, who's fighting Ryan Spann on December 19th. So maybe the winner of that? I don't know. I don't want to give away the matchmaking stuff.
Yeah. I think I'm forgetting some names, but yeah, the Misha one. I mean, if the winner Misha versus Spann, I can see that.
Apparently, the bonuses are out.
Okay, my prediction bonus is fight of the night means Perry, but all the 100K goes to Tim Means. Davis.
Wrong.
Figueiredo. Wait, is there a fight of the night?
Yes.
Okay, then the very first fight. Then.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That which is the correct choice. Louis Kosi versus Sasha Platnikov. And Dana White is stepping up to the scale. Or not the scale, to the dais. Here he is. Let's hear from the boss himself after
see how much he weighs.
255 has come to a close.
The performance of the night went to Buckley and Antonina, and then the first fight of the night won the fight of the night. They all won $50,000.
Dana,
Yeah.
Pretty impressive performance from Davison Figueiredo in the main event. Just wanted to get your thoughts on kind of his performance tonight and this emerging force as a dominant flyweight champion.
Yeah, he looked incredible tonight. He's fun to watch. He can knock you out. He can submit you. And the guy's he's got that meanness to him when he comes into fight. You know, he's fun.
Yeah, it's funny, right? Because the flyweight division was one that was always hard to market. Do you feel like this guy's simple to market? I mean, he's out there, the god of war, out there trying to just crush people.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what people. If you don't like this guy, stop watching fights. You need to find a new hobby if you don't like watching him.
Unique position tonight because Brandon Moreno, it seemed like kind of a de facto #1 contender fight with Royval. He wins. He says he wants the champ. Davison says, I want Moreno. So is that done deal? I mean, is that the right fight?
We're going to keep him here. He's not going back to Brazil. We're going to turn him right around.
Really? How fast do you think that'll happen?
December.
Wow. That fight right there will happen sometime in December?
Yeah. That's what we're working on.
Very cool. Valentina Shevchenko, talk about her. I mean, obviously she looked great again tonight. You know, people now get excited when she loses a round that, you know, there's something going on. So what did you think of her?
Yeah, the odds dropped like crazy when she lost that round. I bet you that knucklehead that bet 12,000 to win 600 freaking out in the second round. But even though she lost the second round, she looked completely dominant tonight. Started picking her apart later on. And obviously Maya is super tough, man. I mean, so tough. And, you know, I think that Andrade Shevchenko is a very fun fight. And the thing I love about that fight, too, is that Shevchenko's at a place in her career now where she needs an opponent that people think actually has a chance of beating her. And I think we all know that Andrade does.
Have you talked to Valentina yet? I mean, that does seem like the fight to make, about like how soon she'd be able to fight or anything like that.
No.
Want to ask you one more about the main card. Shogun Rua, obviously a legend of the sport, but it looked a little bit flat tonight. He's kind of talked about the end being near, that sort of thing. Have you had a chance to discuss them at all?
No, but I hope it is. I hope that tonight was his last night. I would like to see him retire.
Somebody on the front in their career, Joaquin Buckley, had another pretty fantastic night. Maybe not as viral as the first one, but I don't know how you would do it again. But what did you think of his performance?
Yeah, I mean, he went in there against the guy who was undefeated tonight and went right after him, throwing tons of bombs, never got winded, never got tired. Almost knocked him out at the end of the first round, kept his composure, came back in the second and finished it. I mean, you couldn't look any better than he did tonight.
Last couple for me, Conor McGregor kind of announced this week that he's signed on to fight January 23rd. Are we ready to announce Conor Dustin January 23rd, Abu Dhabi?
I think we did, didn't we?
If it was on the broadcast, I don't know.
No, I mean, we announced it the day that he signed the bout agreement. It's a fight.
All good to go. And then his reps came out and said later on after that, Pacquiao is a fight that they'd like to see. Is that something
Who said that?
That Conor's rep said, Audie said it, his manager, that he'd like to see Conor Pacquiao, and that's going to happen at some point. What do you have thoughts on that? Is that something you're interested in seeing?
I don't have any thoughts on it now.
And last one for me, Mark Ratner tonight inducted into the Hall of Fame. Just wanted to, get your thoughts on that and what he means to the company and the sport, and ask what is the plan for the Hall of Fame? I mean, it's kind of a weird year, I know. So are we doing an induction, or how's that going to work?
Yeah, first of all, obviously Mark is a legend in the sport of boxing and mixed martial arts. One of the greatest guys ever, you know, and there's so many people hate each other in this sport. Nobody hates Mark Ratner. Everybody loves Ratner. He's one of the most respected guys ever in combat sports. So to finally induct him into the Hall of Fame tonight means a lot to us as a company. You know, I know you saw a lot of Lorenzo in the video. You know, very, very close to Lorenzo too, and to many of you. So it was a good night.
Are there plans for like a ceremony this year? Or anything?
I have no clue, man. This fucking wacky world we're living in right now. I don't know what's going to happen.
What took so long to get him in?
Good point. Yeah. No, he deserves it.
I wanted to ask you about Valentina. You know, she's at a spot like where people are disappointed when she fights like that. What do you have to do to take it to that next level to kind of get the fans back, you know, where she's absolutely dominant against a very good fighter and people are disappointed in how she goes? What do you think she has to do to kind of turn that around again?
She doesn't have to do anything. Just keep doing what she's doing. Keep winning. You can't listen to the fucking fans and the media. You fight your own fight. You fight the way that you need to fight. It's not like she, laid and prayed on somebody for the whole thing. She was picking her apart at the end of that fight. I got to look here, but I'm assuming from all the fights that I've seen in my life that Maya's nose is broken. I mean, it looked like a bad road. Her nose was going a bunch of different directions. I mean, when you go in and dominate somebody the way that she did, you don't have to listen to anybody else. Just keep doing what you're doing.
How do you feel like when you look at her and Amanda? Do you think it makes sense to put them together again at some point, given how close their two fights were and what she's doing in her division?
Well, let's talk about Jessica Andrade first. I mean, Andrade is a very, very good fight for her. That's a tough fight. I mean, if you're going to go out and be safe the first couple of rounds against somebody, like Jennifer, what are you going to do against Andrade? Andrade is going to bring her a lot of things she's never seen before. Not to mention the power that Andrade has. I mean, she just knocked a girl out, a really good girl, like the number 2 girl in the world with a body shot. She's a real problem for Shevchenko that she's going to have to figure out. And if she does, I think the fight that makes more sense is Weili Zhang will fight here soon. And after Weili fights, that maybe you do those two. But I don't know. Just off the top of my head, that's what I'm thinking.
And one last question about Valentina. What is it in your mind that she is best at? Like, she's so well-rounded. Like, you say, hey, she's dominant at this. Is there anything in your mind when you look at her striking or, what would you say is her best attribute?
I would agree with you that she's very well-rounded. I mean, some of those slams tonight, her ground game, her stand-up is ridiculous. When she lands punches, they're hard, straight punches. Obviously, her kicks are nasty too. She is a handful for anybody.
And do you almost got rid of the featherweight division at one point, and now you have so many fun fights out there that are potentially out there. Do you think it's just a cyclical thing? Like when you were thinking of getting rid of them, was it just because guys weren't performing, or what was it that led you to even consider that decision?
Yeah, well, I never, we would sit in matchmaking meetings and battle over this thing forever. And obviously I'm glad we didn't, but the division needed a little bit of rebuilding. We rebuilt it, and this is the result.
How do you think this kid, I mean, obviously he's just getting started as a champion. I know not a kid, but, just getting started as a champion. You look at somebody like Mighty Mouse, who had been around for a long time. Do you see him comparing favorably to Demetrius in terms of what he can do in the cage and the kind of fighter he would be?
Yeah, well, this kid is so much different. I mean, he's mean. This kid's mean. He comes in with bad intentions, and he looks like he's got bad intentions. And I think people gravitate toward those type of fighters more. And let's see if he can go on a run, that can make the kid a legend. I mean, he's got all the tools, and that, like I said, he can knock you out. He could submit you. And he's a scary little dude, man.
And then the last thing I want to ask you is, where do you go with Mike Perry? He's 500 in his career, he's giving you some trouble and whatnot. After that fight tonight, do you think he has a future in the UFC?
Listen, he's always tough and fun to watch. That third round, what I really like about Mike Perry is, depending on how you guys scored it, but I'm sure you gave him the first round, gave Tim the second, and the third was up for grabs. He tried to win that fight, man. He stood on his ground, and those two just started trading punches. He's fun to watch. I don't know. I don't know what it means where he goes after tonight, but he's a fun fighter.
Right. You mentioned you wanted Davidson in December. Would that be the pay-per-view card? Because I know the 19th card is already pretty stacked.
Yeah, we don't know. It'd be one of those.
Have you spoken to Brandon Royval after his shoulder pop?
I haven't.
And then you spoke about Shogun, but what about Paul Craig? He looked very impressive. He made Shogun tap to strikes, which I'm sure no one thought would happen. So what do you go with him moving forward?
Yeah, no, he looked good, and not to take anything away from him at all. You know, he came in and did what he had to do tonight. But just being honest, Shogun didn't look like Shogun to me tonight. Shogun looked old and looked like a shell of his former self tonight. So, yeah, I'd like to see him hang it up, hopefully.
And what'd you make of Kyle Dawkins, young middleweight coming off his first loss, gets his first big win in the UFC? What'd you make of his performance?
Yeah, great. No, he did what he needed to do tonight. Definitely. Yes, sir.
How's it feel to see somebody from the Contender Series? I know it didn't work out for him, but see the show works.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, I was talking about this the other day. If you look at the Ultimate Fighter and the people that came off that, and, you know, some of the legends of the sport came off the Ultimate Fighter. And these kids that are coming out of the Contender are way nastier than the kids from early on in the Ultimate Fighter. You're going to see world champions coming off that show. It's going to happen.
I know with pandemic going on, nobody knows what to expect from today to tomorrow. But do you see yourself coming down to Texas like your friend Eddie Hearn them to put on live shows? Because that's what they're doing in the boxing side. Like Canelo comes up, I think, December 19th. Earl Spence is fighting in 2 weeks. And it's all because Texas is so wide open. You see how it happened in 2021 and getting back to live events.
I'll go anywhere where I can sell out the whole arena.
Oh, it's constricted. It's not the whole arena, but
Yeah.
then
you won't see me in Texas then.
What about Jerry World though? You got enough room?
Won't do it. No, I'll stay here at the Apex instead of going somewhere where we can't have a full crowd.
And how's it feel good to be the trendsetter for all of sports? I got people in the NBA side like, man, I know you cover MMA. Dana might be the sportsman of the year. How's it cool to see your name come up in that conversation for turning things around when everybody thought everything was bleak?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
How's it feel to have your name come up in that?
It doesn't suck. I appreciate it. You know, especially if you look at the the criticism that I took being first and going in. So to hear that now, yeah, doesn't suck.
Hey, Dana, down here.
Yeah. Do you have another one, or
one last one?
Go ahead.
When would you think that we'll get to see a mega fight where we have like you got John and Israel and they go back and forth, and now I know you got Izzy going to fight Blakovic.
Yeah.
Will that fight ever materialize, or just Twitter where they're just talking back and forth?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, you know, it's all talk right now, but Israel Adesanya wants to move up and take that fight. So we'll see how this whole thing plays out. It's not done yet, but yeah, they're interested, and so are we.
Is John officially a heavyweight though?
No, not that I'm aware of. He hasn't told us.
I saw earlier this week it was announced Tony Ferguson is fighting Charles Oliveira. So I was wondering what that meant for Michael Chandler, because it looked like him and Tony were potentially going to fight.
Yeah, well, he just cut weight. He just cut the weight in Abu Dhabi, so he couldn't do it. So, you know how we do it. We roll, we make fights, and these fights will happen, and then we'll see what's next for Chandler.
Would a name would you look at booking him against like Gaethje or maybe Dan Hooker, or what sort of?
I don't know. I mean, obviously those are the two guys that are left, but I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out.
Thanks, Dana.
Dana, back here to your left.
Hey.
So Buckley has some serious bad blood with James Krause. And I think a lot of people would be interested to see if that could be made. I know Krause is a welterweight, but he fought at middleweight less than a year ago. Any possibility that could be arranged?
Yeah, I didn't know that until tonight. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, that's definitely a fight we can make. And obviously, if they both want it bad enough, why would I say no?
Absolutely. Antonina Shevchenko, how impressed were you with her performance?
I was very impressed with her performance tonight. Her ground game and overall game has come so far. Yeah, she looked incredible tonight. I mean, yeah, she won the performance of the night tonight. So
absolutely,
she looked great.
Also, with Mike Perry missing weight like this, I'm sure you've heard people talking about larger fines, a bigger percentage that the fighter that misses weight. What do you think about that? Might that be something that could be implemented?
Yeah, it's not up to me though. That's up to the athletic commission.
You would support it though if they made it a luxury.
Sure, they can do whatever they want.
Makes sense. Last thing, any thought of a women's atomweight division 105?
I have thought about it. This isn't the year to do it.
Right.
Definitely not the year.
Sometime in the future though.
Possible, yeah.
Awesome.
I've definitely thought about it and kicked it around.
I think it'd be great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Dana, would you be concerned about Davidson making weight twice in a month?
Yeah.
Are going to have a backup fighter or something?
I don't know. We didn't even make that fight yet.
You were talking about Shogun. What's the next step? Are going to ask him to retire? Are going to talk to him? How many fights does he still have?
Yeah, I think he has 2 fights left on his deal. But yeah, I'd like to see him retire.
My last question. Is Anderson released from UFC, from his contract?
Yes. Anderson is released from his contract. Yep.
Last one, prediction for Tyson versus Jones Jr.
I don't know. It's such a tough one to call. You know, when's the last time we saw either one of them fight? Huh? What? What did the Tasmanian Devil say?
It's easy to call.
Easy to call? What is it? Tell me.
Roy Jones.
By what? Knockout?
Well, there's no knockout, so it'll just be a.
There's no knockouts?
No, they're
They're
not.
not allowed to knock each other out?
No.
Too dangerous.
How do you enforce that?
Oh, that's the referee is going to give instructions in the locker room. According to Andy Foster, it's going to be hard sparring. Not they're not allowed to try to knock each other out.
All right.
That's truly an exhibition.
I'd like to bet that that doesn't happen. Can you bet on that? I won't.
Okay. Not sure what just happened. Oh, there he is.
Here, Dana.
Yeah.
Any thought about the person that's going to be the new lightweight champion? Anything rattling around in your mind about?
No, I'm giving Habib some time, to think this over, and he and I are going to get together and meet soon. So,
Fair enough.
We'll talk. Did you have another one, brother?
Yeah. You said you're not going to go anywhere to have fans until you can have a full arena.
Right.
That is the plan in Abu Dhabi for Conor, though?
Yeah.
Is that going to be like, can people buy tickets or is it invited people? Or
Still, I'm working on it still.
Okay. What? I guess how difficult has that fight been to book? Has it been a pretty easy process for you?
The McGregor fight?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those two basically did it themselves. Those two said they wanted to fight. The contract not getting signed for a while by Conor, I mean, that didn't mean anything. That means nothing. Conor McGregor has never said, I'll fight, and then said, you know what, I'm not going to fight. He's never done that. So it was never even a concern for me.
Would you still be able to do it if there wasn't going to be fans?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to take a 10,000 seat arena and sell 5,000 tickets. That I'm not. I'd rather stay here.
Hey, Dana, just quickly, there was been a rumor going around that Governor Sisolak might, end what you're doing, what Top Rank's doing. Have you had any communication with his office?
Say that again?
Is there a chance that the governor won't let you continue to do this now since the coronavirus is getting worse? There was a rumor around that potentially he was going to put an order out saying that he wasn't going to allow Top Rank or you to keep doing these shows.
I never heard anything remotely close.
No,
to that.
you had no.
Look at what we've done. I mean, you know what I mean? That would be madness. Yeah, I haven't heard anything even remotely close to that. Go ahead, ma'am.
Las Vegas Aces guard Kelsey Plum sat in with the matchmakers recently. How did that come about, and you expect to see her back?
Because we saw her on Instagram saying that she wanted to be a UFC matchmaker when she was done playing basketball. So we brought her in, we walked her through the matchmaking 101, and we let her make a couple of fights. And yeah, she's awesome. She's a good kid, and we had a blast with her. So yeah, I'm open to it.
Well, she's incredibly competitive. I can imagine there was kind of some smack talk going on, and
I liked how, you know what? I liked how she walked into the room and was just like, she had her shit all written down. She knew what she wanted, and she wasn't shy. She's actually really cool. We had a good time with her. We good? Happy holidays, you guys. What's up, man?
One last thing. I know you're not a fan of Bob Arum. For boxing fans everywhere, they want to thank you for forcing him to put that Teofimo Lomachenko fight because of what y'all been doing in the UFC. That ESPN forced their hand. So how does it feel to be giving back to the combat sports community?
You keep setting me up with these things tonight, these great things, and asking me how I feel. How else could I feel but great about that? I love it. Make Bob Arum spend some more money. I love it.
What you think about that fight?
What did I think about it?
Yeah.
I didn't see the Lomachenko fight. We had I was on Fight Island. Yeah. I didn't see it. But thank you again. Happy holidays, you guys.
Well, there you have it. All of that. UFC President Dana White. Good God. All right. Listen, some interesting things did come out of that. One of which, Deiveson Figueiredo, who just won tonight in the first round in under 2 minutes. The plan is to keep him in Las Vegas, and then they're going to have him fight Brandon Moreno in December, which you would assume would be on December 12th.
Is that the pay-per-view? Or are they going to turn it up? Oh, jeez.
That's like, what, 3 weeks away?
Yeah, obviously he's not busted up from the fight, but yeah, the weight cut. So we're like, I mean, that's a weird one. 2 weight cuts. Moreno has to make 25-2, and that's very ambitious, but we might have 2 guys fighting at a catch weight.
I mean, I guess the good news would be if they're going to keep him in Vegas, he'll be at the PI and they can kind of help him out more extensively. I guess if we're looking for silver linings, but yeah, I did agree with that question that, are you worried that he's going to have to cut weight twice within a month? And we don't know if it's going to be December 12th or December 19th. December 19th, there's like 713 fights on that card already. So what do you get? I don't know if you have a spot for that one, but December 12th, that could use a little bit more of a rub. I mean, it's a pretty good card. You get a good main event, but throwing that in the co-main, that'd be good.
Yeah,
but man, that's asking a lot from both of these guys.
What about the news that about Chandler Ferguson didn't happen because of the weight cut because as a backup fighter? That's news, right?
I don't know if he's the one. Like, I mean, Dana White has said many times at these scrums, like, don't ask me about the future because I don't know. So I don't know, like, if he even knows the answer to that question, really. Like, maybe Sean Shelby probably knows it more than anybody else. But I don't know. I don't think it was that simple. I mean, Tony called him out for that card, like 2 weeks ago? So for Chandler to, like, sign the dotted line and fight a guy like Tony Ferguson on, like, 4 or 5 weeks' notice seems like a tall task. But it's got to be Gaethje, right? It's got to be Chandler Gaethje. That's got to be the fight, right?
I guess it's weird to say the weight cut thing. I don't know. It was weird. I guess we're gonna have to hear from Chandler about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
we'll see what he has to say.
Yeah.
But interesting stuff right there. I mean, they want to continue to give Figueiredo the old pusheroo, but Brandon Moreno gets a big win tonight. And one thing that worried me about that win, and I know that Brandon Royval separated his shoulder, and obviously we wish him the best. Mark Montoya is a bad dude. The way he popped his shoulder back into place, that was pretty crazy.
I forgot about that. Oh my God, that was tonight. That was insane.
So it kind of sucked that we lost the fight that way, and that's like part of the story. But Mark Goddard had talked to members of the media. I believe Kevin Ioli was one of the members of the media who tweeted this out, that Mark Goddard said that shoulder separation or not, he was going to stop that fight anyways at that point.
Well, I think the
So-
reason Royval was in that bad position was because of the shoulder separation.
Sure.
Yeah. So I mean, they kind of go. You can't take one. You can't. I know what Goddard's trying to say. Like,
It wasn't it wasn't the shoulder. He didn't like see the shoulder separation. He goes, oh no, we're stopping this fight. You're stopping it anyway. So
yeah,
big win for
I guess
Moreno.
the point.
Love that
I
fight.
guess we gotta watch the fight a couple more times or hear from her about when exactly did the shoulder separate, because it was awesome. It was awesome up till then. It's just too bad. I mean, was it just a freak injury? Was it because of Moreno's actual offense? You know, I think I was just in the moment just so like, oh my god, I got his arms out. Now it's back in. I didn't even thinking about the actual fight was like second in my mind. To just like, it was just weird thing.
Montoya popped it.
Yeah.
He popped it back into place, and then he looked right at the camera and like didn't even flinch. Like I just heard like I was waiting for the screen to go black and white, and then see like the Thug Life thing pop up with like the instrumental to Dre and Snoop in the background. The next episode. Oh, that was crazy, but that was a great fight. The other piece of news in regards to 125 pounds. Looks like Dana didn't say the exact words that Jessica Andrade is next, but it seems like Jessica Andrade will be next for Valentina Shevchenko at some point. So obviously Cynthia Calvillo losing tonight to Caitlin Chookagian. I felt like Chookagian did favors for both Andrade and Lauren Murphy. But it seems like Lauren Murphy, at least from what we just heard, may not be in the discussion after all. So I would say, because Chookagian wants to turn right around, you probably run that one back. I know they fought before, Lauren Murphy versus Caitlin Chookagian. They fought at 135, I believe it was in 2016. So I know it's a rematch Lauren wants. So I think that's probably the fight to make at this point. The Calvillo one's got a lot of heat, but doesn't really make a lot of sense now that Calvillo lost, though.
As long as it's Valentina Andrade, I think that's just the fight to make. I know Lauren's done her best to make her case, for that title shot, but I think she has one more fight in there.
So why not just book Murphy versus Andrade, and then the winner can fight Valentina? Because I don't think Valentina's going to fight in like January. So if you book Murphy and Andrade in January, and then do the title fight in April, there you go.
That would make sense. I wouldn't have any issue. That makes sense. I mean, I didn't even
Midnight.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't.
Midnight Mage, really good win by Moreno. Yeah. Yes, very good win by Moreno.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think
makes sense for Valentina to fight Andrade. Listen, if they book that fight, I ain't gonna complain about it. Lauren versus Caitlin in December, maybe. I mean, Lauren does want to fight in December. They can turn Caitlin around quick. Maybe throw her on the paper. Maybe throw that fight on the pay-per-view.
Caitlin is probably a matchmaker's nightmare right now, because what would Caitlin have to do to ever get a rematch with Valentina? I just don't think Caitlin can do it. And so what she's going to end up doing is just knocking off all these future contenders for Valentina. So from a matchmaking perspective, it's to create a number one contender people are interested in. It's going to be very difficult with Caitlin in the mix without her actually earning a rematch ever, because yeah.
Well, what Dana was saying was the plan would be to have Valentina fight Andrade if she wins, and Zhang Wei Li wins against Rose Namajunas, which we don't know when that fight's going to happen. They want to see those two fight, which would be a lot of fun. So I mean, you would have to believe that if Caitlin Chookagian fought Lauren Murphy and won, that like they're gonna put the rocket ships behind those two ladies squaring off in a champion versus champion fight sometime in 2021. But it's just wild. I mean, it's not like Chookagian fought Shevchenko in 2017. She fought her this year. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be really difficult for Chookagian to get back into that fight. And it was as long as Valentina's the champ, Caitlin's screwed, at least for the time being. I mean, if Chookagian wins like 9 fights in a row, you kind of there is precedent set that when you have no choice, they'll run, they'll pull the trigger on something like that. But it just seems like way too soon,
It's an interesting fight I haven't thought of. But
Caitlin versus Holm for the umpteenth time.
I guess he's been trying to sell this fight to us. that would be the loudest fight.
Yes, and that's why I think I don't know. Home. I mean, Chukagian can't fight. I mean, Chukagian's really big for the 25 division, and when she came into the UFC, she was fighting at 135 because there was no 125 division
at that time.
But Chukagian did all her damage, and I'd been following Chukagian for a while when she was with CFFC, just running through ladies in the tri-state region, just running through them in CFFC, winning titles, and then she beat Lauren and she stepped in on short notice. I think it was like less than 2 weeks. Stepped in and got the win. So that's a totally different fight now, which kind of fascinates me to see them run it back, because Lauren Murphy's a way different fighter than she was back then.
Oh yeah.
And so is Chukagian.
Chukagian looks so much bigger than Cynthia tonight, right? Is that my imagination? Yeah. Okay, it was like I mean, I was like I understand that Cynthia was strawweight, man, but it looked way more. The difference, it looked way more than just 10 pounds. Like Caitlin looked like a bantamweight in there, and then Cynthia still looked like a strawweight to me.
Yeah.
So
it reminded me of the Kyle Dacus Dustin Stoltzfus fight. Like Dacus just looked way bigger than Dustin Stoltzfus. Like Stoltzfus was awkward and tried to make things happen, but Dacus was just massive, just way bigger. Able to use that range really, really well. Size matters.
Hamzat's the guy. Just gotta mention Hamzat. You know,
Hamzat the GOAT. I'll tell you what. So all right. So I know this is a popular conversation. Right this second, right now on November. Now it's November 22nd here in the East Coast. Davis Figueiredo is the fighter of the year, right? As of right this second.
The 2 victories over Joe B. And then tonight, right? Is that it? Am I thinking?
Yeah. So three wins, three finishes,
3 dump. Yeah.
2 of them in the first round.
If they get that fourth one, if he gets that fourth one in there, and they can throw him in that pay-per-view of Moreno, and he gets a victory, oh yeah, without a doubt, Figueiredo is the fighter of the year. Yeah, I'm a Joe B fan, so I kind of feel that first victory does still feel there's a big asterisk on it, you know, with the missed weight and the headbutt. So nothing. I'm not holding it against Figueiredo. It's just I don't know how much weight I can put into fighter of the year. But it's just a weird year. So fighter of the year is all over the place. Like maybe if Hamzat rolls through Leon Edwards, who knows? A guy we've never heard of is going to be the number 1 title contender after this year. You know?
And look, like by December 5th, Kevin Holland could be the fighter of the year, and then December 19th, Hamzat Chimaev could do it. I mean, it's a really interesting conversation right now.
Yeah,
but I think it's funny because like a lot of the awards are like the popular ones, like knockout of the year, submission of the year. I feel like those are locks. Like unless something absolutely ridiculous happens, like knockout of the year is Joaquin Buckley, and submission of the year is AJ McKee. There's just no other way around it.
Yeah. Oh, sneak peek tomorrow. I think I did a breakdown of AJ McKee's submission. So my grappling coach just twisted my neck about 45 minutes straight to show you everyone how to do that move and how painful it is. So
that was so wild. Oh my God, that was wild. What a submission that was.
But you know what?
It's
one of those old becomes new. It's actually a very old move, a very classic catch wrestling move that we just don't see in MMA. So you'll see the video later.
Yeah, make sure you check that out.
Yeah.
I assume we're gonna hear from Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah, still waiting.
And then we'll hear from Davis Figueiredo and probably Waleed too, which that's like must-see viewing right there. Valentina Shevchenko is in the room, is about to walk up to the dais.
There we go.
There's the shadow. There's the title. There's the champion. The Bullet, Valentina Shevchenko, following her 4th title defense, a win over Jennifer Maia in the co-main event.
Valentina, congratulations on a very dominant performance. Overall, right now, how are you feeling about the way the fight went tonight?
Amazing. Felt so good. Feel great. I'm happy that now I can say I'm back like 100%, and I don't want to wait anymore, like long time layoff without fighting. So I'm ready to get back and have another title defense.
Was there any concern tonight when you came in that physically you might not be at 100%?
No. On my training camp, we tested my body for like the full power, and I knew for sure it's gonna do everything needed. That's why it took a little bit, like few months more, to be sure that I will be back like 100%. But I knew it's gonna be everything fine. But now I know it more.
We're getting to the point now where people are surprised to see you lose rounds, basically. So what was going through your mind in round 2? Was there any concern at all that, like what's going on here?
It was not kind of like there is some dangerous situations sometimes, and you are like, oh, this is a bad situation, and I don't know how to escape from this. And I was like, kind of like testing, probably seeing how it feels, how it's look, and I was like, okay, there is no damage in here, but I was like in my mind, but it's not good position for you, get out from there and never go back.
The takedowns played a big part in your game tonight. I thought you were having a lot of success on the feet too, but did you expect for the takedowns to factor into your game as much, or is that something you kind of decided on the fly?
I train my coach Pavel. He every time trained me to do anything. On our training camp, we work stand-up, ground, wrestling, and when the time of the fight, I let my body to pick the technique what it wants to bring the victory. So it picked a lot of takedowns.
Very nice. And Dana was here earlier, and he said he likes the idea of Jessica Andrade for you next. If that's a fight that he believes makes sense. Do you feel the same? That that's the right next challenger?
Every time, like, I don't choose my opponents. Whoever will gonna be like in front of me, I'm gonna face. So for me, it doesn't do any difference. Andrade or something else, someone else, or whoever. I think like it would be fair to have Andrade against Lauren Murphy, because Lauren Murphy, she showed her strengths, and she has a lot of wins, like straight wins. So, but the question, if I want to wait that much, I don't want to wait that much, because I was waiting a lot already, and I'm not agreed to wait more, because their fights and they have to recover, and it's going to be a few months from here, and I'm ready to go back to the octagon as soon as I feel good, and I feel good.
Okay, last thing for me, I want to ask you. You said quick turnaround is what you want. Do you ideally, do you have a month, like a time ready that you think, hey, it's January, it's February, it's March? What makes sense for you?
I didn't think about it yet, and I think I'm gonna think about it tomorrow, because today we're gonna celebrate, but it's not gonna be long.
Valentina, congratulations. First thing I want to ask you is, what did Antonina's victory and how good she looked do for you? Did it give you a little extra motivation when you were watching that in the back?
She did so amazing that in my thought it was, I have to do the same. And it was like, when I saw her victory, it was okay, we have 1-0, now we have to have 2 zeros, because I don't want to come back and feel some like bad because of me. And that's why I told to myself, there is no way you're gonna come back to the house gonna back home with not a victory. There is no way.
I wonder, Jennifer is a black belt. She's, has great jiu-jitsu. The fact that you were going to the ground with her showed a lot of confidence in your ground game. But I want to just go inside your decision to do that. Was there things that you saw that led you to go for the takedowns as opposed to trying to just do stand-up that you actually were doing very well in toward the end of the fight?
I don't have any doubt in my ground game. First, I don't have any doubt to have in my stand-up game and wrestling game as well. That's why I don't feel a fear to go in some positions that I don't like because I like them all. I don't have just fear. I feel very confident on the ground, stand up, wrestling. That's why, how I said before, I let my body to pick what technique it wants to use to bring the victory. And I knew I test her, I test Jennifer's skills, and I knew I can do it. That's why I went for it.
What did you feel she was best at? I mean, did she threaten you at all? You said before that you didn't feel any threats. What about her striking? I mean, did you feel she was better at one than the other?
I would say she was very good holding, to hold me as a cage, because it's like, there is different body types of any people, and her body type, it's like has a lot of natural power, right? But it doesn't mean that it was kind of like hard for me there, but it was just hold. There's no damage, and just hold. And I was like, okay, you want to hold, whatever, I will strike you.
And my Valentino, would you entertain a third fight with Amanda next year? Or, Dana mentioned you potentially fighting Wiley. Fighting comes up. What would be of most interest to you? A third fight with Amanda, or maybe fighting Wiley in a fight against her?
Knowing that second hour fight to but I don't. I third fight is gonna be something big in the place, and I would like to see it like not without fans, with a lot of crowds, with a lot of energy, and yeah, because I know if it's gonna happen sometime, it's gonna be huge.
Valentina, right here to your left, Colin Crandall for MMA Power Hour. Question for you: when your opponent was flattening on your back, and she's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I know you're good at Jiu-Jitsu, but were you having some thoughts that now on top of me, maybe I need to be very careful? Or what was your feeling if she would have started to try to go for positions?
I have feelings that I have to be careful. Doesn't matter who I am. Even when I strike, I have that feeling that I have to. This is the most what I have. Doesn't matter if I fight and I go for my victory, at the same time, because I know it's only one mistake, you can lose everything. And this is not for me. I don't want to lose it.
Absolutely. Which fight were you more nervous about going into tonight for yours?
I would say sincerely mine. For he's the only one who received our victory, and I was not worried about her because I saw how good she found. What is her? And I watch her opponent as well, because we have like all team watching and saying and I was not nervous at all.
Question for me: what if Antonina starts going on this amazing?
And she
will. What is the plan if that ever Antonina number 5, then number 3, what is the plan for this?
I say have the backup plan, but I think in the future, today we all was like witnesses of fighting in the U, having both victories, and I think in the future you will see two sisters. See.
Nice. So maybe not the same division, or
I think the same.
Right? But 2 different belts. That would be. Congratulations again.
Well, how big a deal is legacy to clean out this division?
It's like what I want. weight, my natural weight, where I feel the speed, everything. And definitely I want to compete here. And who gonna be like in front of me. And I heard some like people that are saying like, oh, something like that, you are losing motivation. There is no, like, you feel it's passing easy. It's not like that, because I did to become UFC champion. It's that they're gonna do it, because people who live, who was born in United States, they on 8 fight, already fight for UFC. I was starting doing martial arts. I was born in Kyrgyzstan. Martial arts I started to do at 5 years. It took me, how I joined UFC finally, right? It took years from my start around the world, winning world championship in 2 years with the of 17 world championship, just 27 years world champion. So there is no is a dominant champion in my success in martial arts, because I know how hard it was.
How does it feel to have a mental edge over these girls before the fight started? Like I saw it when you fought Caitlin Chahane, fight just seems like that they can't. If Amanda Nunes didn't knock you out, knocked out, what can they do? And that's what avenue they don't have. How does it feel to have that? How's it that aura of, I don't say invincibility, but what are already kind of mentally defeated when they get in there with you?
It really happened here. You see, there is no there is fighters who mental. There is the best from whole world here, and the best they haven't digital like settings in their head. They don't have this fear, because the fight is fight. Of course, you can some like opponent, some very strong opponents, but they're gonna go there to lose. I don't think so, because it's the in UFC.
How many in 2021 if you have your way?
I would like to see like 3-4 times at least, or who knows. Thank you.
Congrats, champ. Would you say with other had earlier this week and then the victory itself, this was the most successful?
Yes, it was the most successful so far. I spent more in the field, like knowing became world champion in shadow boxing. It's gave me and my sister so big motivation, and I would say that our family, because we are all like women who do martial arts, power.
Valentina, do you have an end date in mind for this career? You've done it for so long, training since you were 5 years old. Is there a number like age 35, 36 that could you tell us?
I think it's very early, just 35. I believe that a person who has who still have it, like desire, technique, and it has the end.
Yeah.
If you decide to, okay, I'm gonna stop it now, in a few years you are thinking like, oh, why I wouldn't try to do it again? I come back from my retirement. But there is another like factors that you are not the same person. You lost your skills because you didn't enough good trainings, and you didn't maintain your like spirit of the fighter, and the time is already gone. And oh, it's so frustrating why I took that decision. I am a person who believe you have to use your potential right now, right today, before you're gonna feel, okay, this is time to do something else.
Absolutely. Like they don't get it, and then they start losing and losing, and you can beating you. Do you feel, or you see your skills and lower? For sure, you'll get out. We don't have to see you start when you're old.
What? Get lower. It's not gonna be lower, and lower. It's gonna be higher, higher.
Even as you get older.
Till 50s.
I love it. All respect to you.
Thank you.
All right, there she is, Valentina Shevchenko, the reigning, defending UFC Women's Flyweight Champion. Apologies for the connection issues, because here's the thing: when you have a lot of media members in one room, and Dana White comes up to speak, everybody wants to get that video up on their respective pages as quick as possible, and when that happens, everyone just is using a lot of bandwidth, and sometimes that happens, and that is what has happened here. So we apologize for that. Not much we could do. I'm not going to lie. There were some other media live streams that I went and looked at, and a lot of them were dealing with similar stuff. So we do apologize for that as we await the arrival of Deiveson Figueiredo. Be interesting to hear what he has to say following Dana White's comments that if we're up to him, they're going to turn Figueiredo around real quick to fight Brandon Moreno sometime in December. So we'll see what happens there. So make sure you stick with us once that is over. We'll have a new stream, new link, and we'll bring AK Lee in here, the Prince of Positivity, and we'll talk with all of you guys about the card. We'll answer all of your questions. We're not even going to really wax poetically about anything. We're just going to go right to the questions because it's 2:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. By the time Figueiredo gets up there and does his thing, probably we're sniffing 3 a.m. So rather than, just let you guys get involved in control the conversation. Oops. As we get this stuff all together. I saw a comment about the Fighter of the Year conversation, and it is a fascinating one. Holland, Chimaev, Figueiredo. Tell you what, if Brandon Royval won tonight, he was in the conversation too. But Moreno gets the win. And now he looks like a title fight is going to be on the horizon. Cody Garbrandt has had a lot of things to say as well. He told Brett Okamoto essentially, they brought Alex Perez in to build up our fight. I would knock Figueiredo out in the first or second round. I'll be ready in March. So, well, confidence is everything in the sport,
Cody's he's not afraid to sell a fight.
That's true.
He is not afraid to sell a fight.
He's dealt with a lot.
Oh, the
bicep and COVID and pneumonia, all sorts of craziness.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, boy. Yeah, hope he's doing okay. Let me see what was. Cool.
So Valentina Shevchenko's initial suggestion was to book Andrade versus Lauren Murphy.
But didn't she say she didn't want to wait that long?
She said she wasn't sure if she wanted to wait that long, but it just depended when you booked it. Like if you booked them in February, I could see where she's coming from. But if you booked that fight in like December, early January, it just depends on when Shevchenko wants to come back. Like typically throughout her career, she hasn't really, especially in the UFC, she hasn't been that active. Last year, like end of 2018 into 2019, she was very active. So we'll see. I mean, COVID, all this other craziness.
I personally think it's a bad idea for the UFC to book them when Shevchenko is desperate for contenders, and to knock out a contender with Andrade Murphy, I just don't think that's necessary. I think you still do Murphy. Actually, I want me. Caitlin kind of throws a wrench in everything, but I still wouldn't mind seeing Caitlin versus Cynthia versus Lauren Murphy. And
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Well,
I'm hearing something.
The champ is here.
Oh, there we go.
After his first round submission win over Alex Perez, let's hear from the flyweight champion of the world, Mr. Davis de Figueiredo.
These guys. There we go.
Davison, congratulations on your victory tonight. Your first title defense, first pay-per-view headliner, first Vegas fight. What's the feeling like for you right now?
Davidson, parabéns. Pay-per-view, luta principal. Como é que você está se sentindo agora?
Bom, eu estou muito feliz. Eu e minha equipe trabalhamos para dar esse big show hoje aqui no evento, né? Então, eu entrei lá, falei que ia finalizar esse cara no primeiro round e finalizei. Eu cumpri com o que sempre eu falo antes das lutas.
You know, I'm very happy. And I told everybody, if you guys remember, I'm going to submit him in the first round. And I did again. I promised you something, and I'm do it. This is what he keep and say. He did this with Benavides, knock out him in the second round, and he knocked out Benavides in the second round. On the second fight, he said he's gonna submit Benavides because Benavides never was submit in the first round, and he submit Benavides. Now, yesterday, tell everybody I'm gonna submit him in the first round, and he submit Alex Perez in the first round. You know, he's a kind of champion. Say what you're gonna do and do it.
Can you talk about the mentality of coming in this evening? Like, how does it feel different as being a champion? Is there an added pressure? Are there added nerves? Anything as a champion versus a challenger?
O que mudou hoje? Qual foi a pressão? Porque você, sendo campeão, teve muita pressão, porque você não era mais o desafiante, você é o campeão. Teve muita pressão por isso?
Bom, eu não vejo pressão em cima de mim. Eu sou um cara bem paciente no que eu quero. Eu sabia que estava defendendo ali algo que é meu, que é o meu cinturão. E eu estava ali para nocautear o cara, para mostrar a ele que eu sou superior a ele. Então eu não nocauteei, mas eu finalizei, como eu falei. Eu finalizei no primeiro round e mostrei a minha superioridade a ele.
Oh, I'm very patient. I come in no pressure. I know this is my belt. I know I'm gonna be the champion for a long time. You know, I have no pressure at all. And I come here to do what I told everybody I'm gonna do. Submit in the first round. He said to everybody, I'm gonna finish the fight in the first round. And he finished the fight in the first round.
So you get the guillotine choke, and I'm curious what the thought process is, right? Because if you miss the choke, you might tire your arms out very early, but you said, no, I'm sticking with it. So what was going through your head that you said, I've got this, I'm staying with it?
Quando tu pegou a guilhotina, tu ficou apertando, o que foi na tua cabeça? Posso ficar cansado?
Não, na verdade,
eu vou continuar apertando.
Na verdade, eu peguei ele ali na guilhotina e a guilhotina não estava totalmente encaixada. Eu olhei para o meu treinador, eu não olhei, eu escutei a voz do meu treinador, Ian Coelho, né, do jiu-jitsu, e ele me falou, não abandona a posição que tá pegando, os olhos dele estão fechados. Eu disse, bom, então não vou abandonar, vou arrochar agora. Aí foi aí que eu apertei mais ainda e fazendo com que ele desse os 3 tapinhas ali.
You know what? When I get the guillotine, I hold and he listen his coach, Ian Coelho, his jiu-jitsu coach, tell him, don't let it go, not let it go. Hold, because he closed his eyes. He closed the eyes. He gonna tap, like, you know what I mean? The coach saw the guy gonna tap, say, okay, now I'm gonna hold, and the guy tapped 3 times. The Alex tapped 3 times.
And Dana was here earlier, and he said that he'd like for you to stay in Vegas and fight Moreno in December. Does that sound like a plan to you? Is that what you'd like to do? And if so, would it be difficult to make weight again that quickly?
Bom, Dana falou que queria que tu lutasse agora em dezembro. Esse é teu plano? Vai lutar em dezembro? Como é que tá a tua cabeça agora para isso? Vai bater o peso tão rápido assim?
Pois é uma pressão muito grande, mas essa mesma pressão que eu vou sofrer, o Breno Moreno também vai sofrer. O cara que bateu peso ontem. Então vamos enfrentar a mesma dificuldade com ele. Mas vamos ver que surpresa eu vou ter essa noite, né? Eu dei um show da noite lá, eu espero pelo menos ganhar o bônus da noite. Ganhando o bônus da noite, eu fico para fazer essa luta com o Breno Moreno.
You know, the pressure I gonna have to get the weight, he gonna have. You know, we in the same spot. It's the war for both sides. If I have pressure, he's gonna have pressure. But you know, I'm gonna come back to the hotel because I gave a wonderful show for everybody. You know, he's a kind of champion. Say what he gonna do and do it. What better champion to that? And he not get the bonus of the night. He say, hey, Dana, if you really like me, you really wanna I'm fighting here, you need to give him the bonus of the night for sure, because I deserve. I'm performance. I bring back the excitement for flyweight category because the champion say what you gonna do it and do it. There's no prize. How many people all over the world gonna watch now flyweight division and he not get bonus of the night? This is unbelievable. He told me, I want to come back to Brazil. Say, no, relax. The boss is gonna take care of you because this is say that.
Davison, over here. Do you have a prediction for Brandon Moreno for a 1 round or submission or knockout?
My bad.
That's all right, brother.
Bad translation. Tem uma previsão na luta com o Breno Moreno, como é que vai ser? Se acontecer, se tiver a surpresa da noite, como você vai ser? Tu trouxe a bola de cristal aí, vai nocautear ou tu vai finalizar?
Bom, olhando fisicamente para o Breno Moreno, é um cara que, se eu tocar nele, eu parto ele no meio. E eu vou colocar o Breno Moreno para baixo e vou finalizá-lo. Não vou fazer o mínimo de esforço possível para isso acontecer. Ele mesmo tocando em mim vai cair e eu vou amassar ele e vou finalizá-lo.
You know, I think I'm gonna destroy him. If I touch him, I'm gonna put him in like I'm gonna break him just in touching him. Because Breno Moreno talk a lot of bad things about him. And they have a personal problem with Breno Moreno. And he think he's gonna destroy Breno Moreno in December. But he wanted the boss show the desire to see this fight.
Champ, when you joined the UFC in 2017, not long after that, they started cutting flyweights. And they even traded the former champion to another organization. Were you concerned when you saw that I may never get my shot in the UFC to win the championship because of what was happening at that time?
Quando você entrou no UFC, logo depois eles começaram a querer cortar essa categoria. O que você achou disso quando eles começaram a querer cortar? Te preocupou com isso?
Bom, particularmente me preocupei sim. Eu era um cara que estava chegando na categoria quando surgiu a novidade que queriam tirar minha categoria, né, do UFC. E de imediato eu tomei uma decisão, nocautear todos na minha categoria e mostrar a eles que tem alguém de potencial para segurar a categoria. E esse sou eu. Eu estou aqui para animar, para dar show nessa categoria.
yes, I was very, very concerned about the finish of the flyweight division. You know, when he saw the people talk about he's gonna finish, he said, hey, I come to flyweight division to knock out, to submit everybody, to bring back the excitement, show the world the power of the flyweight division. He always think I'm gonna save this weight class because the people don't know my power. I'm gonna show everybody I can submit and knock out everybody and give a good show for the people.
I think Henry Cejudo would probably take issue with you saying you saved the flyweight division. I think Henry would say he did that. But when did, for you, you see it start to turn around? Was there a point where you started to get confident that, hey, the UFC is committed to flyweights and that they're going to keep us on? Was there one point where you started to relax and feel like you had a chance?
Quando foi o momento que você começou a ver que a categoria ia continuar, que você começou a relaxar, dizer, pô, não, essa categoria vai continuar. E aí, no começo, falou que quem também começou a trazer coisa boa para a categoria foi o Cejudo.
Ah, verdade, verdade. Isso não discordo. O Henry Cejudo foi um grande cara também que fez a categoria permanecer. E ele saiu da categoria, né? Decidiu subir e eu assumi o posto aí. Então, agora eu estou sustentando a categoria e vou sustentar por longos tempos. Eu sou o dono do cinturão. Sou o melhor peso por peso que tem aqui.
Yeah, you know, this is true. Henry Cejudo was a great champion. Was very important for the flyweight weight class. But now I am the champion. I'm gonna hold this category. I'm gonna show the world what we can do. O que mais falou no final? Que vai ficar muito tempo. I'm gonna be for long time champion of the flyweight division. You guys can write down everything I say. I predict it happen. Don't forget that.
And then my last question, and thank you, Waleed, for that. My last question would be, when you look at the talent in the division in 2017 compared to where it is today, do you think it's significantly better now than it was then?
Quando você olha para a categoria em 2017, você olha para a categoria agora, você acha que a categoria está melhor agora?
Eu acho que em 2017 tinha muitos caras bons na categoria. E esses caras não estão mais, né? E eu gostaria que eles tivessem. Demetrio Johnson. Tem um russo que eu não lembro o nome dele aqui no momento. Mas eram uns caras muito bons, fortes. Até mesmo o Breno Moreno. Sempre deu show nas lutas dele. Então, hoje restam poucos, mas eu tenho certeza que tem muitos talentos ainda que vão surgir. Mas eu vou estar sempre preparado para quem for que venha tentar pegar o meu cinturão.
You know, yes, I have some good guys on this time. Brandon Moreno fought in 2017. What falou? Brandon Moreno?
Não, eu não lembro o nome dele.
The Russian, he not remember the name. The Demetrio Johnson. But now he think he one of these guys in his category because he wanna beat everybody. He wanna clean the flyweight division. You know what I mean? This is what he wanna. He wanna everybody think is good, try to fight against him.
When you clean out the flyweight division, is bantamweight possible next, or is that something that's not going to be of any interest to you?
Se você limpar a categoria a flyweight, você acha que você pode ir para bantamweight, para de cima, para 61?
Isso com certeza, sem sombra de dúvidas. Eu sou um cara que meu pensamento está muito forte em subir, mas eu ainda devo muito à categoria de 57 quilos. E eu estou aqui para cumprir com o que eu falei. Vou defender o meu cinturão 5 vezes. E já defendi uma, ainda tem 4 aí para cumprir.
You know, I really think I have a strong mind. but I have the commitment with the flyweight division. He wanna defend his belt for 5 times and make depend for the boss. If the boss wanna he go up, show he gonna, you know what I mean? Everything depends what the people wanna see. You know what I mean? He's an entertainer fighter, and for sure he wanna be the champion for battleweight division.
Or here, a question for Davidson and also for you, Walid. How many days would you think he would think about signing the contract? Because the date seems to be December 12th or 19th.
It's December 12th. You know, he was really disappointed when he not got the bonus of the night because the performance he gave for everybody. And I push him to stay here, not come back to Brazil, because December 12th is now. But they're going to talk to Dana, to Hunter, to Mick, and they're going to put him to stay because I want to see this fight. You know what I mean? It's good for the sport. It's good to show his power. He very disappointed. This is the truth. You know what I mean? He come to me, say, but let's go to Brazil. No, relax, man, relax. The UFC always good with you. You know what I mean? Because UFC always good with him. You know what I mean? No doubt about. No doubt about. You know what I mean? UFC is wonderful, man. I told him, hey, relax. We're going to figure it out. And I think we're going to stay here, going to fight on December 12th card and give another show. The most important, show the world the power of this category. But you remember, guys, I told this before he be champion. Hey, this is a great category. This is a great weight class. And when you have a champion, say what he's going to do and do it. This is a priceless. And his guy is a kind of champion. Yesterday he said that. I'm going to submit you, remember?
He did, yes.
And go every place he go, I'm going to knock out a submission. No, he say, if you see the right translation, say, I'm going to hurt him and after submission him. If you see the translation, because I say I'm going to submit or knock out him, but the right translation yesterday was, I'm going to punch, I'm going to hurt him, and after submit him. And he did in the first round. How much is this for the sport? This is a price less. He's a real champion. What the question for him? What was the question for him?
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's a good thing.
Anything else?
Davidson.
Davidson, tá de Davidson.
Sua esquerda.
You don't need a translation for this one. Thank you.
Tudo bom, Davidson? Eu queria saber qual foi a dificuldade para você, se você teve, né, alguma dificuldade para bater o peso para essa luta e se você, o quão difícil você imagina que seria ter que bater de novo para dezembro, dia 19.
Bom, dificuldade eu sempre tenho, né? Bater 57 quilos. Mas agora eu creio que vai ser eu nunca tive essa experiência, cara. Vai ser a minha primeira experiência. Mas eu creio que vai ser fácil, porque bati um dia desses 57 quilos. Se daqui a um mês para bater de novo, para mim é tranquilo. Eu quero ter essa experiência.
Você mencionou a questão do bônus, né? Quão surpreso você ficou? Como foi receber essa notícia? Você tinha certeza que receberia? E se você estava brincando ou está falando sério que depende de uma recompensa ou de um bônus chegando no hotel para essa luta sair do papel em dezembro?
Pois é, eu estive acompanhando as lutas todas e dentre elas a minha luta eu fiz uma variação muito boa, cara. Eu fiz uma apresentação muito boa hoje e particularmente eu acho que eu mereço um bônus sim. E eu pegando esse bônus eu fico aqui para fazer a luta com o Breno Moreno. Eu acredito no UFC e sei que ele vai rever isso aí para me dar um bônus nessa luta.
Certo. Você mencionou a questão de defender 5 vezes o cinturão, hoje foi a primeira. De onde vem esse desejo? Por que você estipulou essa meta? E partir do momento, depois da quinta subir de categoria, é o próximo passo?
A situação é que quanto mais a idade vai passando, mais difícil fica perder peso. Eu sou um cara que vou fazer 33 e eu já sinto uma grande dificuldade para perder peso, já não é mais como antes. Eu demoro a perder. Mas eu estou disponível aí para fazer mais 4 defesas e subir de categoria.
Só mais 2 perguntas, então. Primeiro, eu queria saber, por que você chegou nesse número? Você conversou com sua equipe? Por que essa meta? Algum recorde que você quer bater? Pessoal?
Bom, na verdade, cara, não é uma... como posso te falar? É mais questão de perda de peso mesmo. Eu não quero ficar tanto tempo sofrendo para bater 57 quilos. E com 35 anos aí, eu já quero estar lutando mesmo por lutar sem estar sofrendo esse negócio de perda de peso. Dieta todos os dias, longos meses.
Certo. A última pergunta que eu queria fazer, antes de pedir para você mandar um recado, né? Demetrius Johnson. Por que você acha que o Demetrius não conseguiu manter a categoria em alta, sendo que ele finalizava e nocauteava, né? Das 11 defesas, 7 foram por via rápida. O que você tem de diferente para manter a categoria atrativa?
Bom, Demetrius Johnson é um fenômeno, né? O cara que nocauteava, finalizava. Mas ele não tem o que eu tenho, pô. Eu tenho estilo. E eu tô aqui, eu sou um cara... como que eu posso falar? Danger. Sou um cara carismático, perigoso. Eu tô aqui na categoria para nocautear, eu sou feroz. E isso faz a categoria ficar animada. Com esse meu jeito, eu faço a categoria ficar animada.
I can translate that. This is a good answer. He asking why you think Demetrius Johnson cannot finish 7 of the 10 fights, correct? 7 from 11 fights. Why you gonna make different? And he said, I'm a stylist guy. I'm a charismatic guy. And I'm feroz. Como é que é feroz? Like I'm danger. I'm really gentle. Como é que é feroz? I'm dangerous. Danger, you know what I mean? I'm danger. And everything I gonna do it, I say before. And I do it. This bring the attention. Everybody wanna see. This guy gonna do this. He's gonna do. He said something, but he gonna do. And this is what he do. He say what he gonna do and do it.
My teacher,
he say he have the whole package.
My teacher Lovato.
My teacher
My
Lovato.
little name is Danger.
My little name is Danger. And another thing, he gonna be choose the best fighter of the year. He need to be the top 3 fighters, the best fighter pound per pound. There's no doubt about. The performance he did this year, he need to be in the top 5 pound per pound, no doubt about.
Last for me, Davidson. De novo, aqui. Se você puder mandar um recado para os fãs do Brasil que estão vendo ao vivo aqui, o que eles podem esperar do Davidson, talvez para dezembro e para 2021 também.
Galera do Brasil que estão me vendo ao vivo, forte abraço para vocês. Hoje, mais uma vez, eu cumpri com a minha palavra, entrei dentro do octógono e finalizei no primeiro round, levando mais um cinturão para nós no Brasil. E estou aqui para dar show. Continue mandando essa energia positiva e eu vou estar sempre representando muito bem vocês e mostrando um pouquinho do meu show em cada luta que eu entrar dentro do octógono. Thank you, guys. Good night. My English poquito. Eu hablo também mexicano.
All right, the champ, Davison Figueiredo, caps off a fight card and post-fight press conferences that just didn't seem to want to end. But it ended there. Figueiredo looked great. Look at him, looking like a superstar right now. And it looks like the plan is December 12th, UFC 256, Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno for the flyweight title. Very interesting stuff. All right, we're going to wrap up and close down this half of post-fight coverage, and then we're going to invite the Prince of Positivity in on the other side for the post-fight show. So get some coffee, stay awake, and bring your questions, thoughts, and comments about UFC 255. We're going to get right to them, okay? So get them ready. Stream is already up there. So get your questions in there. We're going to fire them off. So for Casey, I'll see you on the other side. Thank you very much. There he is one more time. We leave you with the champ and the manager, Waleed Ismail.